I know that a question will come up from one of the people in the press. The top bid was $27 million, so that should answer that question. The 53 jobs that would be lost, according to Commissioner Ames's recollection, I also was present at that meeting and was told that the majority of those would not be out-and-out layoffs because many people will choose to retire. Others will choose to move on with their lives. There's a natural process, and through attrition, jobs would not be filled. And I think that that will still be the case. There might not be an out-and-out layoff, but as people move out of their positions, positions may not be filled. I don't think it's any different whether it's kept or sold. Next, the pension. This is the part that I didn't go into previously, but we do have a maturing workforce, which means more and more people are entering our retirement system, including those who choose to retire, whether we keep or sell Cedar Haven. At $109 million, we are at the highest funding of our pension in our history. We have fewer people paying into the fund if we sell, so that will certainly not help the bottom line. Retirees sometimes pull their money out, which will not help the bottom line. The stock market right now seems to be fairly stable, but if it would drop, that would hurt us. But we also have low interest rates, so money invested in cash is not drawing a large amount of money. We've had a conservative actuary, and there are some things we've done to try and right that, and budgeted contributions in the past were not made. So that's how we got to the point where we are. But that $4.5 million savings, the study that was done by CHR, would pay Cedar Haven's pension contributions, whether it's us or CHR under ownership, into the future. There will be concessions that are necessary with the unions. Either way, it doesn't change that. Lebanon County has the lowest debt rate of our neighbors at $216 per capita. Berks County's at $522, Dauphin at $588, Lancaster at $503, York at $763 per capita. Lackawanna, $1,139, Chester, $1,282. We are not in bad financial shape. If we wanted to, and I'm not recommending this by any means, that money could be borrowed and the pension could be totally funded. But that's not necessary. Some of the steps that we've taken to write our pension include we met with the portfolio manager, the actuary, and the CPA looking for answers, but there was no conclusion, no consensus. So we dropped from 5% to 3%, saving $80,000 per point, and reducing the raise projections, which were, with the actuary, were very high, the conservative part I was talking about. We took away the COLA, $700,000 in savings. We lowered the interest rate paid on the pension from 5.5% to 4.5%. 4% is the lowest. We stopped the $500 medical supplement that we were paying, and we started making contributions to the plan. We have been working on righting this situation. So right now we have $1.5 million in our budget for Cedar Haven. That $1.5 million over the next 7 to 8 years could completely pay off Cedar Haven's pension obligation that we have not funded in the past. If we do that, we will be at a wonderful funding ratio for the entire county. Now, whether or not the other part of the pension is paid, we're talking about taking care of Cedar Haven's portion. It wouldn't be today when this transaction potentially would take place, but it would be within a reasonable amount of time. It is doable. Anything worth doing is worth fighting for. And I beg of you, please reconsider and retain ownership of Cedar Haven. I think it's important to all of us, the entire community, the residents, their families, our employees, and the county, so that generations to come, it doesn't matter if you have money or not, you will be taken care of at a county-owned home. Thank you for letting me get all that in. Are there any questions from the media or anyone else in attendance? Martin.
The first sale price I heard was $25 million. Then I heard $27 million.
Yes.
Who's right?
$25 million is what CHR has offered. $27 million was the top bidder's price.
That's still not right.
So the top bidder didn't get
25.5 is what they have offered.
Okay.
The top bidder didn't get it.
Correct.
That's right.
Why?
I'll gladly answer that question.
Go right ahead.
Because we, as part of this whole program, we pledged, all three of us, that we would not allow money to be the sole determining factor in this decision, and that it was our goal to find the best possible, the best suited, the best match for our community, and we were willing actually to leave $2 million on the table in order to accomplish that. Why that decision was made, Martin.
Okay, now, how many bids did you get? And I couldn't really hear too good.
9.
9. And I, as a member of the general public, I will be told who those bidders were and the amount of their bids.
That's all available.
Sure.
That'll be available.
Yep.
You have a list.
I'll stop tomorrow. Okay. And Complete Healthcare, that was the winning firm, correct? And where are they based out of?
Dresher, Pennsylvania.
Drescher.
Where?
Dresher, Pennsylvania.
Eastern Pennsylvania somewhere.
Dresher.
Where?
It's near Willow Grove, their base.
Yeah, that's what I said, Eastern Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Okay. Second, Joellen, as probably the only I'm the only person in this room who's been here from day one, well, for the last 10 years at every meeting, but on the sale of Cedar
Not
Haven.
every.
Huh?
Not every.
Well, I don't miss many.
Okay.
I do have other things to do. But being here, and ever since Ames opened his mouth the first time about selling Cedar Haven, and now you just went on your speech was great, but as you know, I've been on your side from day one. And I will back you up, and I will say for myself and most of the citizens of this county, Ames and Phillips weren't born and raised in here, in this county. You and I were. And if you knew the history of Cedar Haven and how it came about and why it came about, then it wouldn't have been sold. And you and I both know that. But they don't know the history. My family's been in this valley for 200 years. I just wanted to get that in, and I'll say something else. I hope I live long enough, Ames and Phillips, to see this come back to haunt both of you. Because to me, and I know the history of Lebanon County, all the nasty stuff, this sale of Cedar Haven is going to take its place right up there with the murder of a poor little 14-year-old girl in 1968 by the name of Peggy Reaver.
Martin, that's
No, I'm going to say it. And also the theft of $823,000 out of the EIT Bureau. This will take its place right there in the history of Lebanon County. That's what I want to say. Go on your meeting.
Thank you. Are there any other? I can, if you like, since it will be public record, John. Centers for Specialty Care, LLC, out of New York, had bid $25 million, and Comprehensive Health Care out of New York had also bid $27 million.
I'd like to move that we authorize the implementation of the asset purchase agreement and subject to our council review.
I'll second that motion.
Is there any further discussion? Well, I'd just like to summarize again by saying either way, I think CHR is a top-notch facility. I'd prefer to see it kept in county hands, and I hope you understand that. It is nothing against CHR whatsoever, but if you can do it for yourselves and pay back $25 million, we can do it for ourselves with your help. I just think it's a no-brainer. So that being said, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor of selling Cedar Haven say aye.
Aye. That wasn't the motion. We've already taken that vote, Commissioner, to sell Cedar Haven. That was done months ago. The motion
Sell
now
it
is
to
move forward
CHR.
with the asset agreement.
Yeah, the execution of the asset purchase agreement is essentially an agreement between the two parties what's being sold or what's being negotiated for sale, in addition to terms for both sides in the event that something would not work out. It provides for penalties and things like that. But the actual conveyance, I'm kind of turning to Dave Warner here, the solicitor, a little bit. The actual conveyance of the property will happen in either late August or late September. So this is an agreement for to agree upon what's being offered for sale, an agreed upon price, and for CHR to do their due diligence over the next 2 months before we get to the settlement table. Is that fair, Dave?
That's fair. Yeah,
Okay.
I think we'll likely end up coming back for probably a final resolution and vote just to transfer deeds and approve the final asset purchase agreement, things like that. Somewhat of a formality, but things are in the works already.
So this is for the execution of the asset purchase agreement.
I'll second that motion.
There has been a second.
Right, okay, I'm sorry. I'm willing to vote for that motion.
Go right ahead.
Before we vote,
I'm laying that other option on the table, and that is the reason that I wanted to make sure that both sides were heard. So at this time, we'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Aye. Motion carries.